are live. Let me see. How do I'm old, so you got to forgive me when I'm like jumping around here trying to how do I put this on Twitter and all this
I
stuff.
have no idea how StreamYard
I'm
works. Like
old.
everyone keeps telling me I need to get on it, and I'm the guy. I resist change in technology. Like I was the dude. I didn't have a cell phone. It took me forever to get a smartphone. I had I had a CD player till I was like 23, and I'm born in '85, so that's like 2008. You know,
Wow.
they didn't even make CDs. I went and bought. I'll show you. Right, my buddy Cam. I don't know if you see me retweet him and talk to him. I bought these headphones. Right. Uh, and
Uh,
I remember when I went to go look for headphones, I was like, "Bro, where do I find headphones with a cord at?" And he was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Pretty much. It's like no one uses cords anymore. Like it's Bluetooth and everything. And and I'm like, oh man, another piece of technology I got to get caught up on. It took me a while.
yeah.
It took me a while, but you know what? I like to push the limitations because it's not even like before it was just being a poor thing. Like I just didn't have the resources.
Yeah.
Now that I have them, I still just kind of sit back and go, do I really like? Do I really need this? Should I get this? And eventually, I think I make the right choice. Like right now, I'm having this conversation on a MacBook. Hands
Okay.
down, the best investment I've made in it from a purely like thing that is not me, like things that exist. Best investment I've made. I mean, this is a creator's machine, and I'm not even that big of a creator. I just, I like to write, throw some
Yeah.
graphics in. I'm going to be starting a paid podcast pretty soon once my website modifications are done. I'm doing a big website upgrade, but I'm not like an artist or anything. And I'm just like, but you know what it is for real. The Macs are dummy proof. And I'm not a dummy, but I do dumb shit sometimes,
Hashtag
and
me too.
yeah, and this is so easy to use that I can't like it speeds everything up. Like I don't have to think about it. It just kind of goes. I'm
Yeah.
here. Oh, you're trying to find me. The finder bar is easy. So I like this machine quite a bit, and it's sped up my. I put out more content this year
Okay.
than I have I think any year prior, and I'm on pace to do. I'm on pace this year to have more articles on my blog than I have the whole total, years beforehand. So, and the reason for that is,
Yeah.
when my guy. We started just looking at ways to kind of make this thing better, and I started studying, guys who I consider, where I want to be. And I was looking at James Clear, and this motherfucker in his first year put out 143 quality articles. And I said, what am I doing? Right. So I was like, okay, but James, that's why he's got a book that sold 1 million copies. So I said, okay, if I want to be on that level and play with these guys, that's kind of the work ethic I got to do. So
Wow.
that that
Yeah.
that's my opening rant for our diatribe.
Yeah. I was looking at a MacBook Pro. My wife got a MacBook Pro, and I ended up buying an Alienware, and I actually kind of regret it because, doing I do drone photography and
Okay.
videos, and so processing and doing stuff like uh, drone footage and doing the editing on Adobe Premiere Pro, which is something I had to do. I'm an old guy, and I'm trying to learn Adobe Premiere Pro, to like edit these videos. And the MacBook Pro, I got to admit, working on a computer is like significantly smoother and faster. Even though I got like this
Yeah.
hella like processing, graphics card and this, that, the other. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing it like, and no.
Yeah, I think I don't know anything about Alienware, man. Like, but here's what I know about it. Here's how I was introduced to it coming up. Oh, of course, you gotta have the black coffee. But here's what I know about it. It is, I guess it's like a gamer's machine, or it was at one point.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and when I hear that, I think about how like stuff you got to upgrade, stuff that you have to go and then personally tweak. And you know what, man, I'm just not that guy. Like I wanted to be
yeah,
that guy. I really did at one point, and at the end of the day, you just got to kind of accept who you are. And the reality is, I'm really lucky, man. I get to create things from my life and experience that people care about, and I have a
Yeah.
way of interacting with people both on the internet and in reality that really works for my advantage, and is like a force multiplier for any natural kind of skills that I have. So I said, you know why do I want to? Because I got seduced by the charm of e-commerce and looked at that, and I was like, okay, that's not
Yeah.
my thing, and got seduced by the charm of copywriting. I was like, okay, maybe not so much, but I'm kind of looking at it. But really,
Yeah.
I'm lucky in that I get to that I've lived. Let's say I've lived like 4 lives already,
Right.
and from each of those lives, you take a lesson and you run with it. And I think I've done that really well. And that's just what I want to do is continue to write, put out great content about in that regard, and people dig it.
How old are you?
I'm 35. Turn
Yeah.
30, turn 35 in February. It's funny, man. This fucking virus is going around, right?
Jesus, man.
And let me tell you something. I just assume that people don't follow what I put. I mean, I know a lot of people do, but it's safe to assume that you didn't. On my dude, the week before my birthday, so we were in Lisbon or outside
Mm-hmm.
of Lisbon, a suburb called Pared, and we moved from Pared to Porto, a city in northern Portugal, and we
Okay.
did that the week before my birthday. And this is kind of key to the story, right? We do this, and on the way there's this city Obidos, which is an old kind of like walled city, real cool. We stopped off, toured around, saw some stuff, and I stopped in this spot. I had for some lunch, and I had some meat. It was good meat, man. Like it was a good meal. All the food in Portugal was great. Another thing that Americans have no idea: we pay way too much for low quality, and it is terrible. But
Yeah.
we get there, and I was like, man, I feel kind of funny. And the next few days, I got progressively worse. To the day my birthday on the 15th, it was a Saturday this year. I
Yeah.
ended up in the ER in Portugal,
Wow.
and and fortunately, because my Portuguese is like tourist functional, like I
Yeah,
mean,
that's not
yeah, and so like, but like by no means could I describe what my symptoms.
bad.
Fortunately,
We
uh,
can get a drinking food, but like endogastral problems is a
oh
slightly
yeah,
different
there was
thing.
no. But fortunately, the person at the front, they always do this. I go fala English, and they go, a little, and then they speak like me, and I'm like, "Nigga, you said you only speak a little." But I think it's just hedging the bet, and I think they have just a different understanding compared to an American of what ability in another language looks like. And to us, their ability, their little is great, and then it really helped because I needed it because I needed to communicate and get to the hospital and everything and take care of that. But yeah, so on my 35th birthday, made 34 birthdays, none in the hospital except my first one where I was like brought into this world in the hospital, and then. That when I was in the ER, man, I was in bad shape. I had slept that whole day too. That's what scared me. Is I slept the whole day. I woke up, had a fever of 103.4, which is nuts. That was,
Yeah.
I guess in Celsius, that's like 30. It's more precise. I can't.
No, that's over 40. Yeah.
Yeah, it's close. It's like 39. It's rough.
It's
Um,
high.
so let me get to the hospital and be good. And they IV'd me up, gave me some meds, and I was cool for the rest of my time there. But yeah, that's how that goes. You know what I wanted to talk about, which is funny. I was just about to mention it. So I mean, I hope you, but I'm sure you won't take this personally at
Oh
all.
no.
But there's like because so many people follow me, I never really know who interacts with me that much because you don't get the notification
Yeah.
until you follow the person back. And I didn't I wasn't aware of you until you remembered that this weirdo crawls in my DMs
Yeah,
And, and I'm
yeah.
just like, and it was, dude, it was so strange because look, I'm
Machiavellian psychopath, that dude.
whenever someone messages me with a problem,
Yeah,
I go, okay, how can we talk, chop this up? People,
yeah,
that's why I leave my DMs open. That's that's the main reason. The secondary
yeah.
reason is a lot of business opportunities find you if you just make sure people can reach out to you easily. Uh,
Okay.
and the guy, he starts talking about how he's got a problem with prostitutes and he's thought about killing himself, and I was and then
Okay.
and I'm just like, and I feel bad for the guy, and I'm like,
Me
okay,
too.
and I'm like, okay, let's chop this up. Let's talk about what's going on. We have a few, and then he starts talking about you, and I had no idea who you were, and to me, you were just another guy, and I was like,
Yeah,
well, I mean, I think he just wanted to bang the chick, man. I don't know, like it was nothing crazy.
yeah.
All of a sudden, my shit starts blowing up because I guess I guess he made it sound like I was
I got upset. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I didn't want to bang that girl. What are you talking about?
right, because here's the thing, because because neither side knew what was going on. I was
Yeah,
just like, wait a second, let me sort this out and see what's going on. And I, mean, I had to block the guy. I was just like,
yeah.
you
I
got to
blocked
go,
you.
bro. I was like, because you didn't let out of like of all people, like we were saying at the beginning. I don't try to be a nice. Okay, this is gonna sound weird. I don't try to be nice. I'm not nice with the expectation of gaining anything. I'm just,
Yeah,
I am who I am, and if you there's a clear boundary. If you cross it, there are clear
yeah,
consequences. But I will always be, if you come to me like, bro, I need some help, I try to always give the help that I can give. But when you do it to kind of set, I guess, a honey
yeah.
trap, I don't know, a honey pot, man.
Yeah,
Weird kind of things. But there's a lot of weird people on the internet. You don't realize it
yeah.
until you get onto something like
Mm.
Twitter that gives you access to the entire world. We have nothing like it. Twitter, as far as I'm concerned, there's the internet, there's social media, and then there's Twitter. People keep talking about, oh, when they're going to build an alternative to Twitter, and I'm like, they're never going to build, like someone will, but it'll never gain the traction because this is
Yeah,
where else can a regular person interact with celebrities
yeah,
and heads of state and swap back and forth? And that's the thing, powerful people, popular people who have fans are here. Wherever the celebrities go, that's where the regular
yeah.
people
We're gonna go. Yep.
there was the whole thing like, oh man, Gab is going to be the next Twitter. I'm like, come on, man. The Gab, like people talk about. I'll use I think it was Dr. Spencer, Sean
Yeah.
Spencer. I think he said this, and he didn't. And if Sean didn't say this, and here's this, my bad. I just thought this was a quote, and I'm pretty sure he did say. He goes, I went on Gab, and it was like walking into a Klan meeting. I was like, God damn. But here's just like, we have to walk this kind of the delicate
Yeah.
line. It is a very delicate line. It's like you can't have people spouting off real hate speech. Not what
Yeah.
you like, because look, I'm as open minded and I like cracking jokes, but bro, I've snitched and got people taken off Twitter for dropping the M bomb at me, like with the hard R, not the N and not the A,
Oh, not the A then.
with the hard R. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna fly because
Yeah,
there's a limit. And I'm not
absolutely.
gonna be I'm not for free speech to the point where I eat myself. That's stupid, right?
Yeah,
At the same time,
absolutely.
if you just call me a dummy poo poo head or something like that, right? Or you disagree with me, I'm not,
Yeah.
whatever, right? What's great, but but
We were kind of talking about this before we went on air. I mean, Ed was talking about like people in intelligence and generally how like intelligence is distributed amongst the population. I don't know if you ever read the book The Bell Curve. I started it and I didn't entirely finish it. I actually skimmed it. It's not. It doesn't get a lot of popularity because they say the author is racist. He doesn't hold very
It's always like that. Man, like stories like okay, like maybe look, if you tell me somebody's racist, that's not as serious as you telling me somebody is a pedophile. But when you make a statement like that, I'm gonna need you to present me with a clear case of them doing something racist,
They
or
never can.
I'm gonna think you're racist.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like when you throw out when you say things like oh this person this is this and this they don't understand, they don't understand this, and they're ruining society this way, and more importantly, and how do you ruin society? You ruin the ability for people to interact with one another and become close. So when you throw out the name, when you say that person's a Nazi, that person's a racist, but you move the goalposts and you continually redefine racism, a funny thing happens. We have an idea of what a racist is in our mind. I grew up black in the '80s, early '90s. You tell me a racist, I'm thinking fucking back when the Klan was having but they were still having meetings in City Hall. I remember walking through there all the time. People dropping n bombs, stuff like that. Real discriminatory policies in
Yeah.
place. But if you tell me someone's racist because they're like, I want to defend borders or something like that, or I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna be like, now I have to now are you feel like it was a thing about race when it wasn't about race? You were just being an asshole. Like that's another big thing. That was another big thing. So sometimes, dude, sometimes it is racism. Sometimes you're just being an asshole, and you happen to be the only black person out of the group, and you thought that gave you immunity. And the minute you get pulled out, you're like, oh, you pulled me out because I'm black. And I'm like, nah, man, you just happen to be black. Uh, I didn't call you. I didn't call you a loud N word. I called you just loud. Like that. One is a racist statement. The other is an adjective. And
Yeah.
so that's how I feel about that kind of thing. Where people just going, okay, we're gonna take these names and move the goalpost on them because humans
Yeah.
on it, you get the stupid humans who do that, and then you get the other ones who just interpret it through their own lens, and it's clever. Look, I think it's clever. I don't think they're trying to be clever when they do it. Uh, I think if if I say Abuamerican, that guy is a goddamn sexist, right?
Proud.
And and when you hear that, because that's what you have to do. You got to start training your mind to go, okay, you tell me this motherfucker's a sexist. Now, what that used to mean is, our misogynist. He hates women. He's chaining them up in his basement. He's beating them. He don't have no love. He got a fucking a poster or a female face where he's throwing darts at him and shit. Right? There's this whole image, these images that get conjured up.
Yeah.
But the reality is, you just disagreed with a few women, or perhaps you make your wife go and do traditional gender roles. This is not being a sexist.
Yeah.
But now what they've done is they've taken a more tame idea. They've taken their idea that because they just don't like you, and they've superimposed it with the public's general perception of something. And now you're the villain. Now
And then the outrage crowd follows.
yeah, and then everybody, yeah, and so dude, it's a crazy world. People like us, we gotta.
Bro, you should. Oh, I think I just dropped. I just froze. What happened? Oh gosh. You guys still there? I don't know if you guys can hear me. I just froze, or did Ed freeze? If you guys are seeing me live, can you hit a one for me, please? Because I don't know if I dropped or if Ed dropped. Ah, okay, it's Ed. He froze. Okay. I'm like, you're panicking, like, oh my God, what happened? Yeah. With that stuff, what's funny is waiting for him to come back. I Well, hopefully be back. Maybe he's having some technical difficulties. He's in the U.S. Actually, he's not in Portugal right now. Let me. Oh no, I'm still in the back room studio. So I don't know if you guys know, but what he's talking about is like very, very, very appropriate in my particular case because I got such a. I'm just gonna say it. I guess I got a bad rep with Muslim Twitter. Man, they swear up and down I like hate women, even though I got multiple ones. So multiple women. So I know exactly what he's talking about. Hold on, let me bring you up here so I can cough on you. Yeah, I'm coming up with something again. That cough that I had like a week ago. It wasn't that a song about 2 weeks ago. It's back again. And woo. Let me see if I can get him back here. Yeah, I'm getting sick again. Well, you say he's so cool. Tic Tac might want to sponsor. We were talking in the backstage before we came on air, and he was like, he's like, some dude called me the Mr. Rogers of Twitter. He got kind of upset. He was like, man, that's not cool. He said, I'm offended. That is cool. I don't know what happened. Unfortunately, went off air. He's in the U.S. and he left Portugal when all this whole stuff popped off. So yeah, we'll see if he comes back. If not, we'll stay live for a little bit longer and maybe we can reschedule because I have a lot of questions I want to ask him. Ah, there he goes. Nice.
Yo, can you see me? Yeah.
You're back.
What's funny, I'm on my phone now. I accidentally kicked the circuit breaker, so now the whole system, the way it's set up where I'm at, is restarting. So I'm like, whoops. But it's all good because technology is crazy, and I'm on my phone. And dude, how about this? Like
oh, he froze again. Oh, we just had him back. Bull Rush, man. There you go. You're back.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it stables out and keeps working, man. This is just unfortunate. But yeah. Nah, man. What happened? The internet's good, man. I just happened to kick something. It's my fault. I'm the one that it'll be all good. Hopefully.
Over here, man, everybody is home, and so it's like my internet has significantly degraded.
Yeah, that's right.
That's crazy right now.
I know, but
so let me ask you
again,
dude. You have done it. Like, I said, let me ask you. You've done it like man. I'm like impressed at 35 that you've done so much. So you fought. You've been a boxer. You've been in the military. You graduated university, and you're like, you write the heck out of some stuff, man. Where do you find the time to do this, dude? You got like a clone or something? What's going on here?
Nah, man, dude. You know, and if we hopefully won't get disconnected, and it'll be all good. But yeah, so you know how all this really happened is I woke up one day. So all of that you mentioned, I did in a span of what? I went back to school at 28. Yeah, so really the past 7 years. And
that's even more impressive.
Yeah, well, you know, some of that I got a little bit of a head start on. Like, I went back to, I started boxing at 22, right? So it's not like I started boxing cold and I had an amateur career. So there is like I don't want to like ruin the legend of Ed Latimore, but there is some parts of it that are you know I had a little extra time. But as far as my professional career, military, boxing.
Yeah, I think you
describe
dropped
it.
again.
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, the internet's back up and running. Cool. Okay, great. Yeah. But the best way to kind of describe all this, am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay,
There's some delay every once in a while, so I'm not sure.
is that I didn't, man, I didn't sleep. I mean, I did some sleep, and I'm sure there was a sacrifice of my absolute ability in one area. Like I graduated with like a 3.1 GPA in physics. That ain't bad. I mean, I'm not going to grad school, but that's not bad. But could I have graduated with like a 3.8, 3.9 if I just focused on physics? Sure. I suffered my first loss at 13, or my 14th fight. Could I have fought better in that fight and been a little more and then were damages sustained from the other fights? Could I have fought better if I wasn't doing everything else? Yeah, probably. Could I have really taken my military career to a higher level if I wasn't busy in school? Yeah. But I think given that I was the directions that I was pulled, I think that I did exceptionally well in all areas.
And what I'm looking at, I mean, that's pretty impressive, dude. I mean, sometimes I'm kind of ashamed of myself that I haven't done more. I mean, I did stuff in other areas, but man, how many fights did you have? You said 14 fights. You're 14.
15 pro fights. I lost my 14th one and I drew my 15th one. And there was a plan to come back, but during that plan, I got hurt. And I said, it's funny. The week I got hurt was the week I graduated from college, and then I just May the second week of May, everything kind of changed, and I was like, that was the first week that I made more than 10 grand. Really, in the first month, I made more than 30, I think.
Wow.
And it was all on the internet, and I said, okay. And I had been gradually building to that, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, my coach actually is the one who had the conversation with me. He said, dude, you got a degree in physics. You're doing really well online. Why are you still in this sport? Like I'm your friend. I care about you. And why are you still doing this? You don't have to do it anymore. And it's not like I got, because there's some guys, that they achieve their success via a belt. And so they have to kind of keep defending it. You look at a guy like Joshua and it's like, oh, what are you doing? Well, you have to kind of keep fighting. Now you've built this legacy. You got to run with it. Man, I didn't do anything like that. So I pulled back, and then and then now mentally I still play with the idea. Like I'm still not completely retired, because when I completely retire, when the thought is like 100%, I'm never ever going to lace the gloves. That's probably going to be like right now when I think about it, I can't imagine going through a camp, giving up the life I have now, and getting ready, because a fucking fight camp. I mean, in general, fight training is hard, but a fight camp is
no, I know. I actually, I mean, I never did striking like in a pro sense, but I fought professionally in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And every time I was living in Qatar at the time, I was teaching down there for the Ministry of Defense. And every time I had to get ready for the Abu Dhabi World Pro, dude, it just is.
Dude, you rolled on the pro.
I fought in the Abu Dhabi World Pro 4 times.
No kidding. Oh, dude, man, I should be interviewing you. Shit.
That was tough. I hated it because the Brazilians, everybody, the best from the world came around. And the thing about the Middle East is we didn't have to do qualifications. To anybody who's watching and you don't know, if you want to fight in the Abu Dhabi World Pro, you have to fight everybody in your district. And then you got to fight everybody nationally just so that you can come. Because the Abu Dhabi, the Emiratis, they pay for you. They pay for your flights. They pay for your hotel. So you have to qualify. And so we could just show up because we were right there. It was a 45-minute flight. And I had to show up and fight those guys who like beat everybody in America and Brazil to get there. And that, man, so when we trained, God.
That is really. Also, so you're a black belt, then I take it.
I'm a brown belt, actually. Okay. I left Qatar before I could get my black belt. And over here, when you change schools in jiu-jitsu and generally, they view you like some sort of like.
They're not hot on me.
No, they're like, you're not getting your black belt from me, dude. So it's like, So I'm sitting on this brown right now.
That's really dope, man. Yeah. So how many? So what do you have? Like 10 years or even more, or just?
It's about 10 years now. I got my brown belt really fast. I got my brown belt in about like 4.5 years because I used to train 6 days a week.
Okay, yeah.
So I was just like,
there's ads popping up on Facebook for like, oh, you can get your black belt in 4 years. And when I saw that, I was like, this is some bullshit. And then I talked to a few guys, and they said, okay, if you had nothing else to do but train, and you had a good teacher, it's conceivable you could do it, but the average person cannot do that. And even if they could do it, they don't have the interest or inclination to train like that for BJJ. I mean, that's full time basically.
When you look at like these guys that are marketing that stuff, it's like, especially Kit Dale. Kit Dale's big on that marketing. Kit Dale, he's from Team Checkmat. He did his black belt in like 4 years, but that dude was training twice a day, every day for like 7 years straight. Same thing with BJ Penn, JT Torres, all the Lloyd.
And like, I don't know the story of the other guys, but Penn is from like a rich family.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
So
he did nothing else.
So he's got the resources and everything to do that. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Can you give me 1 second? I'm gonna leave this and then come back on the computer through my headphones.
No, absolutely.
It should be super good, like quicker than you think it'll be.
Yeah, no problem. Of course.
All right, leaving now.
Yeah. Okay. No, wait. This is not the one I want to pop up. There's a question that I can answer here. Here you go. Alex says, sorry if you ever talked about this on your site, blah, blah. When Ed comes back, you'll see this and we'll go over it. But Ed told me he started training boxing. This is before we went on air. He started boxing, I'm not sure when he started training, but he started boxing when he was 22. So, you imagine, I think he said he started fighting when he was like, what, 27? Oh, there he is.
Okay, yeah. So in terms of my training trajectory, I started training, like my first amateur fight I was 22. And then I was an amateur for my first pro fight was I was an amateur for 6 years, 5 years, maybe 5 or 6. And then I turned pro and then did that. But here's the thing. Huh?
That's a hell of a fight career, actually, man.
Yeah. I think about it sometimes, and I mean, I put a lot of. I got really lucky, dude. You want to talk about luck? Okay, this is a great story, and I been trying to figure out a way to like kind of write about it and have it be engaging. And I think I'm a better writer now, so if I took a crack at it, I would be way better. But my fight career, so I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay. And it's not a small town. It's just not a big one either. And but Pittsburgh's great advantage is that it's like no more than 4 hours driving from a lot of other major cities. Okay, we'll go 5. So not everyone drives like a maniac, but it's within 5 hours to DC, NYC, Philly, Cleveland, Cincinnati. These are all boxing towns, right? Yeah. So I got a lot of. I was really lucky. People like me, and I showed promise, so people would take me on different ways to get exposed. I got lot of fights, but it was still hard getting fights because what happened is, I had a natural amount of power. I was not a natural at fighting whatsoever. I could just throw a good right and a good hook, a really good hook, and I had athleticism from football built up. And I was okay, but my first 2 or 3 amateur years, I only got like 18 fights. Man, that is horrible. That's really low for an amateur fighter, right? And then a cool thing happened. One of the things that I thought would be horrible for my career, but it was one of the best things to happen. This guy, one of my rivals in the city, a guy I couldn't beat. I fought him once, couldn't beat him. Fought him twice, couldn't beat him. And then it was coming up the prep for everything going into the 2012 Olympics, and that starts with the local regional kind of tournaments then you get to the national, then you go to the interzonals, and then those from go on to well, right. So you have your like I was in the Allegheny district, right, and
Mm-hmm.
then you win that, and you win your district, and then each district kind of feeds into I think something bigger at the next level, and then you go to the national, the U.S. National Men's Championship, and then
Mm-hmm.
from there those winners go to the Olympic trials.
Okay.
And that year they were in Mobile, Alabama. And then the winner of the Olympic trials goes to fight in the zonals. And the way the Olympics set up, I always used to wonder this. I'm like, how do they have all these countries fight off in enough time? Well, they don't. They group the countries in the Americas zone, and the best fighters from like for each country is represented from like Canada, Mexico, America, all of South America, Central America, fight it off, and like the top three, they're the ones that go to the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I in that we were getting ready for he beat me in that, so I had no chance of going to that. And but so the next big tournament for that year was the Golden Glove, and due to some things that happened in the city, he ended up coming and training at my gym where I was training, and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy." How are we gonna work on the same gym, man? We're gonna fight each other. And then at that point in time, I felt like my coach had taught me all I could learn from him, or we weren't just vibing. I wasn't happy with the result, and I changed coaches to a guy named Tom Yankello. And Tom Yankello he's had world champions before, and he really put me through the ringer and worked my. I mean, I jumped a level in ability in a very short amount of time because it was just a different kind of training and it was a different
Yeah.
expectation for me. Well, what happens is as I fight him the third time, I actually beat him by knockout, which was great. I was like, wow, crazy. Go on, win the state Golden Glove. Go on. Now I won the state, so now I go to nationals. Nationals that year were in Indianapolis. And so I go to nationals, and the way nationals works now, the Golden Gloves is based on state, except for like 3 regions because there's like no one there. Like there's the
Mhm.
like Idaho, Utah, Montana, that area. Like they're all grouped as one. They come. Anyhow, during the drawing happens, and in the drawing, I get California's champ. Right, so the guy who
Mhm.
beat everybody in California, Cali, they got some fucking Sacramento, L.A., San Diego, the whole Bay Area, right? I was like,
Mhm.
okay, here we go, right? And there was a guy named by the name of Dominic Brazil, and if you know the fight game, Dominic, he at this point as a pro, he's been he's fought for the world title twice. He lost once to Joshua, second to Wilder, but he's had a great career, man. He's a
Yeah.
good guy. So I draw him and I fight him, and Dominic's like fucking he's 6'7", I think. I remember walking into the
Yeah.
center of the ring. I'm 6'1", right?
Yeah.
I remember walking to the center of the ring, and then he walks because they call you to the ring to greet, touch him up, and then go back. And he raises his arms up, and this guy's already 6'7", and I'm like, oh god, what did I get myself into? Well, I win the fight on a score of 4-1.
Oh, nice.
And this is really significant, right? Because what do they say? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Have
Mhm.
no idea. Like I have no control either of who I draw first. And I had, but I could control my preparation. He had me running 3-minute intervals on the treadmill at 9 miles per hour, and then sparring with tougher guys. I mean, I really stepped things up to a much higher level. So I draw him, and then I beat this guy from Michigan, and then I lose to Donovan Dennis. For Donovan Dennis, whooped my ass. I mean, he's a good guy, man. 5-0. I remember the night though I lost. I was excited. My buddies had drove out to see how far I was going to go. We were going to go out and party because the bars in Indianapolis didn't close until 3. This is back when I drank, so I was excited to go out. But before we go out, we have dinner down in the lobby, and I get up to go to the bathroom, and I'm in the bathroom. I'm standing there at the urinal pissing. You know the rules when you standing at the urinal pissing, right? talk to no man, especially not no stranger. And this motherfucker comes up to me with this thick ass Australian accent, talking about, "Oh, you did great, mate. There's a couple of people you got to come out and meet everything." I'm like, come on, man. I'm like at the urinal, man, with my thing out, man. Like, what are you doing, bro? So I come out and I meet these guys, and they're running this program called All American Heavyweights out of California that Dominic was part of. And the whole point of the program is they were taking former Division I athletes, and they were having them. They were trying to convert them into boxing champions, right? And so that was the goal. Like Dominic had played quarterback, and they actually was a pro for a little while, like a practice team. And there were a few other guys out there who had different levels of experience than professionals, and overseas and stuff like that. And so they said, "Why don't you come out, give it a go for 2 weeks, and let's see how you fit in, right?" And turns out, here's the thing, this is an error on their part that I benefited from. You can't just boxing is a skill, and you can't just take an athlete. Like even if you gave LeBron James boxing gloves, if you just threw me in there with him, I mean, he might get a right in and pop me. He is 6'8", man, and huge. But for the most part, like we were like roughly the same size. But I had been boxing. I would be. But I ended up, outlasting everyone in the program. They thought I was only going to be out there for 2 weeks because I was older and shorter. Like 6'1", I was the shortest one there. And I ended up being there until the program dissolved. Then it dissolved for different reasons, and that was a good 2 years of my life. 3 years prior to that, I got 18 fights. Or actually, a total of 24 because of the tournament fights up to it. In 1 year, I got 24 fights being out there because they were flying me places, flying guys in, sending me to every tournament. That's where I won my national title from the National Police Athletic League out there, and how I met some good friends, and it was a really, really good time. But that experience and that level of training and resources that really, really accelerated my career. And the best part, this is why I say my career has just been unusual. The best part is it was paid, man. They paid us. Now as an amateur, they couldn't pay us to win a fight, so they put us on a salary.
Okay.
So when I got out there, my initial salary was $2,000. My initial was $2,000 a month. It was $3,000 a month split this way, and then they upped me after a little while. After I won my national title, they upped it to $3,500, and they paid for my apartment and my food and everything. So I made more money in my amateur career than a lot of pros make.
That's crazy. I never heard of that before. That's wild.
Yeah. Well, it was a project that didn't last. It had its success, but then it dissolved because human greed and people and stuff. Yeah. But to go into like the TLDR of why it dissolved. So Dominic eventually makes the Olympics. He was our heavyweight representative for 2012 in London. And he wanted them all. He wanted more shit, man. He's an Olympian now. He's got some leverage. He was like, one, can you guys fly my family? He had I think he has 2 sons and his wife. He's like, can you guys fly my family out? And Terrell Goucher, they gave that motherfucker a car. Can you at least? He's from Cleveland. They let him come out through the first pitch. He was, I think Goucher was the 165 or maybe for that year. Like, can you guys give me something? They weren't giving him anything, and I'm sure he wanted more than what I'm hearing from our side. And so he split, and then when he split, they were like, well, we're not going to put the money behind this to do it for 4 more years. So they just gradually started cutting people they didn't think had potential. And one of the things that happened to me, I ended up needing a surgery during a sparring session with Charles Martin, who's another guy that came out of it. Charles Martin was a world champ. He ended up coming out of that program too. We all lived together and trained together for 2 years. They had been together longer. I was only out there for 2 years. Charles gave me a jab, and I was like, "Holy shit, that hurt! Like it hurt way more." He's a big guy, he can hit hard, but this was a different kind of pain. but I shook it off because I'm
Yeah.
fighting, you know. We go to spar the next day, or no, 2 days because we sparred every other day. And I was sparring a guy who was a little shorter. Charles like 6'5". This guy was like 6'2", and that's important because we were locked up, and he bumped me with his shoulder to get space to go to my body, and I said, "Hold up, something's wrong," because then it really hurt my eye. They,
Yeah.
they took me into the to whatever medical because they covered our medical too. So gave me a CT scan. I had a fractured orbital floor
Ooh.
and needed surgery to repair. And I was out for 12 weeks. Couldn't do a thing for 12 weeks. Tried my best to get back in a fight shape. Lost to a guy I should be, and they said, you know what, you go on your merry way. They gave me two options. They said I could sign this like some type of NDA form or whatever, and not. And they would give me like a week or like a month's pay, and I could get unemployment and be good. Or I could do, and I don't remember what the other option was, but I didn't take that option because it wasn't good. So I did that, and then I ended up driving across. Because at that point I don't really have any money. I'm smart, right? At this point, trying to be so every little bit they're paying me, I start paying down debt because I'm trying to up my credit because I know I'm going to get a car one way or the other. And so I didn't have much money at all when I came back to Pittsburgh. I drove across the country with everything in my trunk, and it was one of the worst experience. It was actually driving across the country was boring as shit. The best thing that came out of that is I stopped in Kansas because you at this point because of fighting, I know people all across the country. So I look at my route and see who I know, and one of the guys I know is my buddy Cam Awesome, and he's in Kansas City. And I say, Cam, man, why don't you let me drop by? Because he was my roommate out in LA. He was like, yeah, no problem. I get to Kansas. I go to leave the next day. My car won't start because my fuel pump blew. So I ended up staying in Kansas City for seven days and just hanging out with Cam. And it was weird, though, man, because at this point, so what he's known for, aside from being probably the most decorated amateur in heavyweight boxing in America, he's done a lot. The only thing he hasn't done has made it to the Olympics. He got like 5 nationals and 4 Golden Gloves. I mean, he's a good fighter. But what he's known for now is this motherfucker decided to go vegan. Like when I when I met Cam, he was my roommate out in LA. They brought him out because they couldn't figure out how to beat him. So they were like, let's have him come out and we'll study him and we'll see how it goes, right? And we'll learn from him. But he needed a place to stay, so they said, we're not going to give him his own apartment. We're going to have him stay with Latimore. And we dude, of all the people I met, we just get along. We still talk to this day. We're really good friends. We've had podcasts together, everything. But when I met him, he was like 250 pounds and had the worst fucking habits. You know how you know what pisses people off? What pisses people like me off? I bust my ass. I'm clean. I don't drink. I eat good. He was winning national championships some days hungover, and it's not for lack of competition. Some guys just come in. He tells a story about when he won his first national that he was out drinking the whole night before, and he
raw talent,
raw, just good ability, insight, not a lot of power, but really good insight and ability. So and it works out. Works great for him, but it was really getting bad. When I met him, he was like 260, 250 pounds. And I guess somebody said, it was the Cotto Mayweather fight. And his buddy bet him and said, if Mayweather wins, you gotta, or it was somebody. If I get it wrong, I'm sure he'll come in and shout.
I'm just saying, betting against Mayweather is a bad bet. I made that face. I'm like, who bets against Mayweather?
Yeah. So I don't know who he bet against, but he was like, all right, cool. But if he loses, you got to go vegan for 30 days and tell me what you think about it. So he does it, and he said it changed his life. Really did, and he's been in shape. He went on, and then he went on after dropping weight. He goes on and he does the same thing at the fucking heavyweight division, because in the amateurs there's super heavyweight and heavyweight. Well, in the professional ranks, which normally cruiser, 201 or up to 201, like 190 to 200 is just considered heavyweight. So he was the super heavyweight with all this before, and then as he slimmed down and got even faster, he went down to a heavyweight and did the same thing, just raw talent, and it's really good solid dude. But one of the things that came out of that is I got to hang out with him for a week, and by that point he had gone vegan. So I was like, where the fuck is the food at? So I'm going to. And it sucks, man. I mean, obviously it doesn't suck for him. He's still doing. He's been vegan now. Shit, that was 7 years. So at
I
least seven
can't.
years.
I
Uh,
tried vegan. Man. Yes, I ain't
yeah,
like it.
I don't. I don't. From a scientific. Okay, so forget science for a minute. Let's just go with what I actually think.
Mm.
For whatever reason, certain diets work for certain people. For
Yeah.
example, like I don't like all the science says carnivore should not be like you should lose body fat, yeah. But you should also lose a lot of other shit. Some people thrive on carnivore, some people thrive on vegan, some people
Yeah.
thrive on pet. I think it's important to experiment and figure out what vibes with you, and when you find that, you hammer it to the wall. And then,
Well,
we got some. I mean, we have the research that shows some people based on where people are from are going to respond differently to different diets. We just black
absolutely.
people apparently uh, do exceptionally well on vegan, or at least better than the average on the vegan diet, and whites do a little better on carnivore.
Yeah.
It just depends, man. And
Yeah.
Asians do a little better on bats. That's fine. I'm joking, man. I'm joking. If there's any Asians watching, you got to have some humor about this situation.
Hey man, my wife is Asian. She's from Indonesian, and sometimes she like break out some food. I'm just like, man, what you eating, dude? You ever try it? I'm like,
Have you seen that new Dave Chappelle where he's talking about that joke? Like, there's something hilarious to me about how somebody could be born one thing and then wake up and decide that there's something else. He's like, that'd be like me. He's talking about the trans community. And he's got his beef with them now. And he's like, that'd be like me waking up one day going, I'm Chinese, right? And he goes, my wife hates when I make that joke. She's Chinese because she's Chinese. And she's like, it's like, I mean, but nah, man, everybody knows that I always crack the cocks of black jokes. It ain't nothing. I'm just having some fun. Don't be sensitive. If you didn't eat a bat, you ain't got nothing to worry about. If you did eat a bat, go.
Oh man, they done messed us up with they eat that bad stuff. There was something. Oh yeah, with racial and ethnics and whatnot and diets, man. This is something I try to tell my coworkers, and they're like, they don't. I guess so many people have been fed this whole entire equalist, egalitarian, all humans are the same type thing. And I'm like, look, man, I come into work and I'm grouchy. And they're like, why are you so grouchy? It's a beautiful day. I'm like, my niggas, the sun ain't shine in Germany in a month straight, and I'm black. I
Right.
ain't got vitamin D production in like 3 months straight. Why am I supposed to be happy?
Right.
So why would our food not make a difference?
Speaking of the vitamin D, one of the big things, I know a lot of if not entirely, mostly your audience is male. One of the big things that made a huge difference for me is, so I got my testosterone levels checked, and I was like 500. I was like, okay, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't feel 500, right?
Mhm.
But clearly, and I got it tested again a few times, and I said, okay, what is wrong here?
Yeah.
Big thing, man, especially brothers. If you're in the Northeast, you're not getting enough sun to begin with, and then being black is a bigger issue. And then on top of that, I don't like dairy, so I don't drink milk. I try to avoid cheese. I started supplementing with vitamin D, and it took my shit right up above where it should be. I was like, okay, now we're. Oh, dude, vitamin D is a big thing, man.
I'm 47. I'm on TRT, bro. I'm on prescription from my doctor, TRT.
Oh, right.
I never thought of that.
Now, here's the thing about that, right? I actually, this is one of the reasons why I gotta make sure I'm 100% sure that I'm never gonna put on some gloves again, like in that capacity. But I'm 35, man. I'm just not. The risk is far greater than the reward at this point, and I've got a following. Like, what do I get out of it? But my buddy told me. He said, "Be careful. Make sure that you never want to fight, because when you get on TRT, you're gonna feel what it's like, and you're not gonna want to be able. You're not gonna want to go back to being like you're not gonna be able to go back to being a regular dude. Like, and so, but I'd have to if I was fighting. Like shortly there being like a documented issue like hypogonadism. I think it's called a hypo. Yeah, I would not be able to be granted a therapeutic use exemption for any type of to use testosterone replacement therapy in competition. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep monitoring my diet, and then when all of my optimal things don't keep me above 700, then I'm gonna hop on it. But as long as I can kind of, because here's the other thing too. I don't know if you talked to Donovan Sharp, he's real big on it.
Not recently, no.
Yeah, he's real big on TRT and HGH as well. And one of the things he talks about is like when he does his own injections.
Yeah, me too.
Right? And I'm like, all right, man. I'm sure it's one of those things you just get used to, but I don't. Not there yet, man.
It's tough. You know what? I do in the shoulder, so I relax and then I do in the shoulder. But I gotta admit, man, some days you gotta poke around like 8 or 9 times till you find a spot that's not sensitive. One day it goes right in, you don't feel it. The other day you're like, dude, it's like someone's trying to cut you open with a serrated butter knife.
No kidding. Now, how often do you do it? Like once
I do it twice
a week?
I do it twice a week.
Okay, that's not too bad, and I'm sure it's cheap over there, or cheaper anyhow.
I mean, I get it online. My doctor gives me a prescription, but it's like low grade stuff, so I get the high grade stuff online. It's not expensive. It's about one of these bottles will last me about 5 months. It costs 75 euros.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's incredible.
Yeah.
and I'm guessing like now did the doc show you how to give an injection, or you a former head or what? Okay.
No, not a former crackhead. Alhamdulillah. But before I actually tried full on steroids one time. That was when I was about 38, and this guy was like, "Yo, you got to go ahead and give it a try." And I was overweight. I wasn't severely overweight, but I was trying to cut everything. And he's like, "Get on this Sustanon." I'm taking Sustanon now, and he's like, "Give it a go and tell me what you think." I got on it, and I taught myself how to inject and everything from like YouTube, bro. Just I learned how to ride a motorcycle on YouTube, so everything how to self-inject I did on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, because dude, at this point, I mean, look, man, I'm not even gonna front, man. I'm a big I'm probably bigger than people would think into making sure that the appearance is solid. You know, I'm gonna do everything in my power, man. But motherfucker, this hairline ain't I was losing my shit, and so what did I do? I went and got the surgery, which is great. Oh, dude, I mean, one time
that's why I keep it bald.
Yeah. So you know why I didn't go with the ball, because it wasn't a bad look for me at all. But I said, okay, I was at the time I was like, I know I'm gonna go to Europe. Like I know this, and I don't know how long, because I don't always want to get my hair cut or have to wake up every day and shave. I'm lazy in this regard, man. It is what it is. So I said I want to make sure that I have the option to grow my hair if I want to.
Yeah.
So I said, let's go with it. And then, dude, you know what? I didn't realize this, because you just go so long. I didn't realize like how cool having a hairline, like how many years that shaves off your appearance. It's like it is absolutely. People are like, I remember people that know me for. I guess they didn't know my age because they were just, they had gone to school with me, and I didn't go back to school until I was 28, or they had met me in my 30s, and they were like, man, I didn't start getting those questions again until that, and then every guy knows that look that a girl gives you when she's passing by, and it's double, a little prolonged in the face look, or double. Hadn't got that shit in years, right? And I'm not a bad looking guy. I just hadn't got it in years, probably because you use a little points for that, whatever, right? Head's back, face is framed again. Happens all the time again. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But it's cool, man. I mean, in terms of like pure vanity and zero utility, this is not one of those things that you just. I could have bought any number of things else. What it cost. But I said, when I worked hard, and I don't mean that, and I said to myself, I said, well, think about all the money you saved over the past 6 years not drinking
Yeah.
and not courting hoes, and I said, okay, you got to find these ways to justify things to yourself.
Yeah. No, trust me, my wife. My wife is the same way. She's like, you just want an excuse. Like I bought a crossbow. She's like, I bought 2 crossbows. She's like, you just wanted an excuse. I was like, yeah, I earned it. Like
Exactly. Dude, what's funny, man? God bless women. They are just not like us. In different ways. So check this out. So she couldn't understand. Okay, I want to say she understand. But no, that's probably it. She couldn't understand for the longest time, like why I did it, why I got the hair replacement, right? And I said, well, it's because I'm losing hair. She's like, well, it's not that bad. I don't see it. I'm like, okay, whatever, right? It wasn't until it was growing, and then I went and showed her the pictures that I used to show the doctor, and she was like, huh, I guess you were losing a bunch of hair. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how is this right there? How did you not see it? And I thought, and for a while, I thought she was being nice, and she was just being nice. But I think the way a girl sees the person she loves is not the way. Like, I'm never gonna not see extra weight. I'm gonna just okay. We gotta let's hit the track. I'm never gonna. Oh man, I love you. But I think they they'll lose you, and the brain won't register the way our be like. That bitch is ugly. Like, no, it'll never.
No.
She goes, that's my man. I love him.
Yeah.
And
right
and everything else follows.
I wanted to say that the way they view us as men when they love us is the way they claim other women who they know are ugly when they say they're pretty, but they're sincere with that. You could fall apart and like, oh, I love that guy, and she'll literally say, oh, you look fine, and she'll literally mean it. Unlike when she says it to a woman that she knows is ugly, she says, oh, you look beautiful.
Right.
This is when they're speaking sincerely.
It's an interesting kind of thing, and there's not a lot of, we'll say, like, red pill truth at this point that surprises me because I really mean I cut my teeth in this being single, and then in a relationship. There's a lot that kind of comes together, and eventually, you get it, and not only you get it, you're past the anger phase, and you're now in this how it is. Let me make sure I protect myself, set myself up good, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that surprised me. I was like, huh. What an interesting, and then it made a lot of other things make sense. Like every guy's got that experience where he looks at a girl with a guy and goes, "That motherfucker, that motherfucker ain't shit." like nothing. And then look, and she loved him. I mean, just I'll never forget. There was this girl I had a crush on in high school. It was a half and half girl. And she liked this nigga must have been like 5'4", maybe 5'5". He was fat, whatever. And she loved that motherfucker, man. That they met, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, man.
It makes sense to me now, though. Like, I mean, I get it, and everything just kind of starts being put in a different lens, and you're just like, okay, I see, and it's good, but that's good, man, because. I don't know if you've seen that graph. There's all kind of great graphs, but there's the graph from OkCupid data, and they talk about how attractiveness for men, how women appear to men is like uniform. There's most women are average, but very few are extremely ugly. Are extremely desirable, and this makes sense. A lot. Then you look at the woman's scale, like 1% are like super. In fact, none I think are super desirable. Most of them are not at all desirable, and there's like a few right in the middle, like below average. But the average is like little. There's more below average than average, which I thought was interesting. But that I think that goes to show that like. For all of their, they lust after dudes the way we lust after chicks. But I think in terms of when you start asking like, what do you want to fulfill you in a relationship? I really feel like if you can get her to like you somehow, like if you can get that audition without having the upfront resume of like the fucking chiseled jaw or being over 6 feet tall,
Yep.
and you get to like you're in at that point. That's why you got to have a mouthpiece, man. Like they talking about these guys talking about game, man. We called it a mouthpiece, and now that phrase is coming back, which is cool. But because you gotta have something, because looks alone, most like you can't compete. Hill's got a great line. He goes, it's like, have you? If I looked at me, he goes, they're different. They're just different than us. Because if I looked at me naked, I wouldn't give me some pussy. Like, have you seen me?
I'm always like that. I don't know how women find men attractive. That's why I'm like, I don't want to talk about the alphabet people, but I'm just like, I can't figure out why why would a guy find a guy attractive? I'm like, hairy in the wrong place.
Right. Like, it's got nothing. And that, all that goes to show you is that, you're just a hetero dude. I just don't get it. Like I've never looked at a dude and be like, damn, I'm straight.
Man, I got a request. Let me see. I don't know if this will show up on my screen. I was going to post this on Twitter because this dude sent me a friend request. This is a dude. This right here. This is a dude.
Oh, word?
He sent me a friend request on Facebook, and I was like, "This dude."
You ever see the Chappelle show, the when they're playing basketball against Prince, and he's got that line. He goes, this back when Prince was big, and it was Prince and Shalimar, and they had this one dude, Ricky Free, and everybody thought Ricky Free was a girl. But nah, man, Ricky Free is a guy. It was like, man, dudes was like, yo, that bitch fine the motherfucker. Nah, man, Ricky Free is not a man. Ricky Free is a guy. That kind of thing you'd be looking like. That's crazy. I would not think that. I mean, but
weird. Yeah.
It's crazy. I think woe is the guy that falls for that shit. I don't like, dude. I am not people. See, this is the thing. You got to preface obvious statements with things like I am not X or I am not Y. And whatever, right? It's your channel, so I'm not trying to get anything taken down or sparked.
I don't care. I'm like, shoot it, man. Go ahead, fire.
Right. But here's the thing, right? I have no issue whatsoever, however somebody wants to live, do. If you want to chop it off and put a hole, if you want to, take that hole and build a pole, I don't care what you do, right? It's all you. My thing is this. Here's the issue that I think guys might have. If your surgery is so successful that I can't tell that you used to be a guy, at least not soberly. Like I'm just like, whoa. And you trick me, because that's what it is. It's tricking me. If you tell me, right? Am I just supposed like you can't expect somebody just to be cool with that idea? And I now with that said, because it's just not on the minds of most people, and the way they put the agenda, you would think it's this big issue. And it's a big issue for the people who are in the issue, but for most of us who are going to be affected by things that occur as a result of that issue, we're not thinking about it until we're forced to think about it, and then we're put out facts. And I think a lot of people, even though a lot of people look at it, and even though intelligence, you don't have to be most people aren't super bright. These aren't super difficult things to think about. Like if you tell me, there was that whole thing about the whole bathroom thing in North Carolina a little while ago, which I thought was the whole idea, and it's still persistent. That you use whatever bathroom you.
Yeah.
Or even now in sports, and there's starting to be a little bit of pushback. Thank goodness that you compete in the sport or you compete with the gender you identify with. And there was just this story about how this person who identified and was going through the surgery was put into a prison with the other gender, and they raped that motherfucker. Like, I mean, I don't, what do you expect? I mean, like, as messed up as that is, my first thought is like, what do you expect, right? Like, now though, forgetting that prison thing. The other two things, like the competition in the school, people are being affected by decisions that on issues that they didn't want to think about, and now they have to think about it, and their introduction, almost by definition, is not going to be a pleasant one. So you're making more enemies than you would had you just let everyone should have equal rights. I want no one has ever said they shouldn't have the same rights. No one's ever said that.
Yeah, but people don't want the status quo change. People don't want drag people reading stories to their kids and all this other stuff going on. They don't want that.
You're right. But when it happens, and then I guess another thing is like, with some of the curriculum with this being taught, that like, okay, I didn't want or consent to this, but that brings up another issue. Like, if you did, now you're worried about what they're teaching, man. They were teaching this bullshit for years. But that's my main point is that. But so I don't digress. My main point is that I don't think the general public cares or thinks about these issues at all, negatively or positively, until they're forced to, and it's unfair. And certainly, and I don't think I think they have to anticipate what's going to happen, but they don't do that. It seems obvious to me. You have a super small issue. It'd be like me. Ed Latimore is allergic to tree nuts. I can't eat walnuts, almonds, pecans, none of them shits, right?
Okay.
I can eat peanuts, doesn't it? It'd be like if Ed Latimore was allergic to tree nuts, and so I started petitioning for a bill that we have no tree nuts in food. And you would look at me like my allergy is not so severe, and not so widespread. Now it was the whole peanut thing with airplanes, and that was killing motherfuckers. But yeah, that's. I don't know if you're allergic to any foods or anything like that, but it's miserable.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
I'd rather get kicked in the nuts than have. Yeah, it's that bad. And not only is it that bad, getting kicked in the nuts ain't gonna kill you. So
All right, fair enough. All right, I could. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, there's that, man. But yeah, man. So I'm real curious because I didn't know. So what do you do out there in Germany?
I mean, right now I work in the auto industry.
Okay.
Not directly. I've almost only worked in engineering out here. I work for another engineering company that, like, basically, I don't want to bring my employer's name into it, but basically,
Yeah. Now I got you.
You got parts from our company in it. That's how big of a company we are. And I'm basically their SAP management team, and I do purchasing also. So when I purchase for the company, for the machinery and the presses and like for the production line, basically, then after I order those things, I put it into the SAP system so that it's part of stock inventory that they can use to repair, replace everything inside the factory. Yeah.
Okay. Not so how are things faring out there with the virus? Did they tell you guys to just chill out, or are you still essential or what?
Nah, they sent me home, man. They sent me home last week. So Monday last week was my last day. I'm home for 2 weeks paid. And yeah, we'll see what happens. They're real socialists out here, man. They're socialists. I was surprised. I was
like, dude, okay. This is one of those things that if you don't, even if you do travel, I think you gotta have a bit of an understanding of things, so you don't just go, "Where's my money?"
Yeah.
So I was explaining. So Portugal, right before I left, they put out this decree that said anyone who has to stay home because of the quarantine, if you have children under 12, we're going to make sure you get, I think it worked out to be 70% of your salary, right?
Nice.
Okay. And a lot of countries across Europe are able to do something like that. And Americans go, whoa, $1,200 once. And I'm like, you have to understand, that's what I always say. I go, yeah. They can do that because they're taking off the bat in Portugal. 40% is the minimum tax rate. right? That's what a broker's
It's
motherfuckers
about the
pay.
same in Germany.
Oh, right. So yeah, when you do that, so what can you do when it's not about individualism? Well, you can have your university be a lot less. You can have healthcare be a lot cheaper. What can't you do though, right? It's a lot harder to get rich in Europe because the way taxes eat into
It
your
is
earnings, a lot harder. But the way I described it,
significant.
I said in Europe, the ceiling is lower, but the floor is higher. Like, so when
Uh,
shit fall off,
uh,
the citizens are in a much better position.
yeah,
Shit ain't falling off like this in a long time, so we don't realize how nice of a system it would be to have high, but good luck convincing people to increase the tax here. America's is a great experiment. It's very
yeah.
different in a lot of places. Um, but I think this virus, along with some other things, will reveal certain flaws that we just kind of forget when we have our Netflix and chill to distract us because we're not
Yeah.
going to have that. Look, man, cats is what I don't know if you've seen this shit. People watching this Tiger King, I gave it 3 episodes yesterday, and I said, "What the fuck is this, man?" Like blew my mind. I was, it's entertaining, but that's the whole plan. I don't know if it's conspiracy per se, but
Mhm.
I know that if you give people just enough to be comfortable, they're not going to question a lot of things. And in
What?
America, we produce a lot of entertainment. We produce more entertainment than anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
and we
What's
send it
called
out.
Tiger? What? Tiger who?
Tiger King.
Tiger King. I'm writing that down.
I kept seeing people talk about it. I said, okay, I got to see what this is about, man. And
Okay.
without giving you too much of the plot, it's a crime documentary ish. That's probably not even the best way to describe it about this conflict and this thing with these big cat with these cat gamers, people who own exotic cats and shit like that, tigers,
Okay.
lions in the U.S. Kind of nuts, so. But that's the entertainment because what else are people gonna do? But the idea though is that people in Europe they're not freaking out. I mean,
No.
every because the government was taxing they had. What's a doctor in the UK make like not even 100,000 euros. Uh, compare that to America, it's different.
Yeah, that's
But,
crazy.
and his schooling was all covered on the way up to it, or at least it was not nearly as expensive as it is here in the states. But he's not going to be super rich, and there's not going to be that much of not great of a wealth disparity as there is in the United States. But when shit hits the fan and people
Yeah.
gotta stay home, everyone is going to be taken care of. That's why I said we were on the fence. What were you about to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually vexed about the 1,200. I mean, I was thinking this is $1,200 a month. I mean, in Germany, they basically said because for me, I get 67%, but then the government covers the rest. This is just done automatically. I don't have to do anything. I just got to go home. But they're basically saying like it because there's people who make less than me, of course. They're like, we can actually top you up by up to 1,800 a month up until June. No questions asked. It's the craziest thing. But then again, I pay a lot in taxes. I mean, I get my check and I'm looking at my file. I'm looking at my book, my what's it called? I'm trying to think of it in English. My pre-tax income. I'm like, yo, I'm banking. And I look at my tax income. I'm like,
And
hey
you're
man,
like, what is going on? But then you think about,
yeah.
how your cost of living is probably lower than it would be if you were here, everything. But here,
Mhm.
man, this was, two things we really thought about: one long term, one short term. In terms of long term living in Portugal, we really thought because she's a Portuguese citizen, so she as long she don't have her NIF yet because she's been over here so long. But NIF is just like the I'd imagine or something similar in Germany where you have an identification number
Yeah.
that goes on like everything, and that's how your tax get taken, and she don't have that, but she can get it. But she's got her passport, and national ID card from Portugal,
Mhm.
and we were like, okay, relocating there is going to be great for many reasons, but we were like that tax rate is a motherfucker, even, and we were just we didn't want to deal with that. On the flip side, though, you can go to the doctor for $30, man, and like a good doctor, not like my dude. I was in the ER on my birthday. The ER, got fluids, got meds, all that. My entire bill was $150. Do you know how much an ER just to go to the ER cost in the US? That we're talking like $8,000, man. Like it's a different ballgame.
When my wife first got here, our first kid, she went to the hospital, was in the hospital for like, I can't remember how long it was, like a week or 2 weeks, man. We ended up paying like €600 for like 2 weeks stay in the hospital.
Dude, in America, that would change your life. And not for the positive. Like, it's crazy. On the short term, though, because of this, the way that system is set up, we were sitting here debating whether we should just hunker down, because right now they waived, if you're like you're in the country when this happened, they were just like, we're not opening offices until June and for the CEF. So I would have just been fine. I would have been fine my visa, right? I couldn't go to other Schengen countries, but borders aren't open anyway. And we were debating. We were like, okay, stay here. Pretty much the devil you know versus the devil you don't. And we saw how things are being handled here, or go home. We don't know how it was going to go back home, but it kind of makes sense. Obviously, we ended up coming home, and it was a close decision. It was really close because I was arguing. I said, okay, we see that, first of all, like the supermarkets are fine. There's no rush because they have a real order. It's like only a few people in at a time, and you can't come in. We're checking you when you come in, and everyone's real like that they're complying with everything, even without the government kind of dropping the draconian hammer. It's real cool. No one is really losing their mind, and we didn't know how it was going to be over here. Yeah. But what we did know is that over here we knew a lot more people, dude, we didn't have a big enough network in Portugal to be like, okay, here we know people are gonna go and meet people, hang out. Here we can like talk to someone or go to a friend's house. They're healthy and safe. Like even here, we've been with our sister and her husband for the past week now, and it's that social aspect is important, but. Yeah. But really how we got to this, the main idea though, watching how they handle the financial stress on the population in a country that has a higher tax rate and more of a socialist lean compared to individualism. Individualism is great for making progress when things are good. That's why all the great progress has come out of the United States. Everything from machines to medicine to all the social media apps and sharing is all based on that. Individualism is great for that. When shit hits the fan, then you're like, wow, okay. How long
mentality on a national scale?
Yeah. How long are we gonna be able to just give these motherfuckers the Tiger King and hope they just chill out? Like, because that's what's coming next. Because man, people are getting antsy, man. Like people are like, why can't I go back to work? Because survivorship bias is incredible. Most people don't know someone with the virus.
Yeah.
And if you do, they likely recovered anyway. So you get like more than 99% of a population of 300 and something million people going. I think it's closer to 4 at this point, but 300 to 400 million people going.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? Let us go to work. And we kind of got to go to work because rent's due in 2 days for a lot of people. And it's probably get fucking ugly, man. Like that first month, okay. And I can see what they're doing. They're hedging our bets. The things they're coming out with, like the stimulus and waiving fees, they're pretty much betting on the future. They're betting that it will get better. But if it doesn't or it gets worse, man, Europe is going to be the new America. Pretty much.
I mean, this is here in Germany, man, and Germany's been very stable. I mean, Germans reacted pretty much similar to like Portuguese, where the only thing that you can't find in the store right now is toilet paper. That's the only thing they went crazy on.
Which is weird. But y'all in Europe, man, every other house got a bidet. Like,
yeah, I got one bidet and I put it in myself. So it's like, what y'all need toilet paper for? But even on German news, they're talking about like Germans are like getting fed up. I mean, even here, and everybody's basically covered. I mean, it's almost prior to this, it was almost impossible to like evict a person from their apartment. And then they put a new law saying during this, you definitely can't put anybody out. because you'd have to go to court and battle, whatever else, and then you can put the person out. Now it's just like, don't even come to the court. We ain't even going to hear it until at least June. They set their deadline for June. Is like, that's when we're talking about going back to normality.
And you guys are covered though.
Yeah,
and that's
and
crazy.
they're saying they're talking about revolution on like one of the biggest newspapers in German TV.
Wow.
So, yeah. I was like, what the hell? Got me nervous.
That's mind blowing, man. I don't know how many people are watching, but let that be a very valuable kind of lesson, because I thought from my end, I thought the biggest issue was going to be people going, where's the money? Where's the money? But if people are already fed up, right? Because that's the thing. And I see how I don't know if you saw the there's tons of conspiracy theories, but that's what people are going to do. They're going to come up with conspiracy theories because if you look at it without having a big top down view, and you don't know anyone, you're not in one of the epicenters like New York City. You're looking at this going, what's going on? Your brain has to start making sense of it somehow. Humans hate randomness and uncertainty. Our brains don't deal with it. So we create conspiracy theories,
Trying to fall back on something,
Yeah, well, because right now, I mean, I'll say I'm a rational guy, man. I try to be, and even I got to make sure. I looked at the numbers from China compared to the U.S. You're not about to tell me that the Chinese got fewer fucking cases.
I got it from you. I've been pumping that up on Facebook. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. You said it. Yeah, like 1 billion people and the epicenter, they're the ground zero, and they got fewer numbers in America. Come on.
Like you're not telling me that, or if they do, one of the popular ideas floating around out there, one I'm inclined to believe, is that because on that site, which is great, I think it's like you type in COVID numbers, or they just type it real fast, and you can see the cases in each country, and then you click on the U.S. and it breaks it down by state, and you can see like the deaths and the new cases and how many people are in the critical, like in the hospital, and your brain starts going, okay, you're telling me that we got I'm looking at the numbers, 123,000 cases and a certain number of deaths, but you look at the number of serious critical, it's like 2,666, and you start thinking like, okay, all these people are supposed to be in the hospital if they're critical, but they're saying that the hospitals are taxed. That doesn't sound like a taxing number. What's going on? You really start looking for holes in the story, man. and I don't want but I don't want holes to be there. I just want to get back to being able to eat, man, and not have to worry about anything. Yeah, here we go. With some of these numbers, man, this is insane. Mainland the third, mainland China, right below Italy.
Mainland.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. Man. The Germans are faring pretty well, man. Wow, that's you guys are doing a great job over there.
we freaked out. My company shut down after 4 people got sick. We had 4 people get sick out of 2 different departments, and after that, they were like, "We're shutting down."
Oh, no kidding! So you guys, in terms of you were ahead of a lot of what was being put in place.
We had 2 guys going skiing in Austria. They came back, and one of the production lines, they shut down that entire production line. And then in I guess it's a machine shop where they make the tools for the company. 2 guys got sick over there, and they was like, "Screw it, we're done." So
wow. Well, that's good, man. And they can do those things probably because they're not too freaked out. It's not like let's get these profits. So everything's a trade-off, right?
The government's bailing everybody out. Socialists, even the companies getting bailed out. Private citizens and companies, everybody's getting money. So they won't worry.
Right, and that's the thing. People are over here pissed about that because they're like, "Oh man, what about the common folk?" And I'm like, "That no system is perfect."
No.
And unfortunately, when you have a system kind of based on individualism, merit, when you have a catastrophic event, or rather, I'll say an event that affects everyone, and all the waters get lowered, right? You get to see, okay, well, some people are already here, and that lowering that they hit the ground. When you're up here, everyone lowers, and it's like, okay, we're all right. Compared to like, over there in Europe, everyone's kind of at the same level, and because they're at the same, when there's a little more water here, they just siphon it off over there, and they keep so that when the water goes, they're like, nope. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you guys some water and pop it back up, and everyone just kind of stays the same. It's a really
Yeah.
good system to be in, or at least right now. It
Right
isn't
now,
really.
it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah. So I gotta ask, man. I'm just curious. I have no idea how long you want to go, but things just
I was just about to say
got
we've
it.
been on like an hour and a half. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Well, you gotta remember, some of that was me kicking myself off the net. Well, I know you should probably leave off with the last question, but I just thought about something you said earlier in the combo, and I got curious. Why of all places Germany? Like of all the places you live.
Okay. Basically, military history and children. So right now, I have my ex-wife is here. I was married to a German girl for 24 years. We have 6 kids together, and they're all German citizens. And so basically, I wasn't going to come here. Actually, I was going to go back to the United States. We had a pretty ugly divorce, and I just wanted to get away from her because she did some dumb stuff that like actually affected us both negatively. And so I came by to see my kids, and I said, once I get to the U.S., I'm probably going to be stuck there for a while because people don't travel out of America. They just really don't. And usually, for whatever reason, you get there, you get stuck. This is what I've noticed from other people.
Yeah.
I come through, I see my kids. I stay for like 4 months, and then I'm about to fly to the U.S., man. And I want to get I go to the airport, Frankfurt, and they're like, "Yo, you can't board the flight." I'm like, "Why?" And it's like, well, you got to talk to like U.S. intelligence. I'm on a no-fly list, bro. So,
Holy shit.
yeah, I don't know. I still don't to this day. So I make a million phone calls. Can't nobody give me answers. Can't nobody tell me why I'm on the no-fly list. The Canadian Airlines, they contacted because I was flying with Canadian Airlines. They contacted the intelligence agencies from Canada, and they said, well, look, we contacted U.S. intelligence offices, our liaison office, and they said you're not really a physical threat to anything. So you're more than welcome to fly to Canada, but we can't let you fly onto the U.S. And since we're not flying over U.S. airspace, you're welcome on the flight. And so I was like, screw it. I just took the train back home. Actually, I got the video of like the actual event on YouTube because I was just filming. I was like, yo, I'm here on the train going back home. And so I just decided to stay. And then I'll just tell you the whole story. So then I was like chilling here, like not sure what to do. And I was like, all right, well, I need to make some money because I'm running on my gratuity that I got from Qatar. It was about 60 G's. It was some good money. And I was like, but I'm gonna burn through it real fast. So like, what do I need to do? So I talked to a friend of mine, prior military guy, and he was like, well, they hiring to go kill like Boko Haram down in Nigeria. So I was gonna go PMT. I was gonna go private military contractor. I was like, all right, cool. And I don't know who I said something to, but it got out on Facebook. And my homie in London contacted me. Was like, yo, whatever you do, don't do that. I'll get you a job here in London. So I ended up working like as an article segmenter for a IT company in London for like a year, and I just came back here after that when they kicked me out because they didn't want me there. They was like, we don't want you here. So I was like, all right.
No, sure. They don't do. Yo, so if you were about to go PMC, then we're like, well, what did you do in the army, yo? Were you special?
Chair Force, man.
Huh?
Chair Force, Air Force.
Oh, no kidding. So you weren't even like a killer. They were just going.
They just knew me that I was good with weapons because I used to always compete in shooting competitions for like, all sorts of weapons. And I was always getting like the top 5 places. I was competing against like special operations guys. And they're just like, dude, why are you so good? And I'm like, and they always knew I was in combat and whatever else. And I was good at following orders. They was like, I'll vouch for you. Just go over there, get your basic training stuff, your certifications and stuff. I got you. It was some good money. I would have done it. Actually, my son's special operations now. My son, well, he's a ranger. I mean, you want to call it special operations? He's a ranger. Yeah, my son.
A ranger in America?
Army ranger. Yeah, he's an Army ranger.
Huh? Oh shit. So are you? So all your kids aren't German citizens?
They're dual citizens. They're Germans and Americans.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome, man. Wow.
Yeah. So
Very, very cool,
he's
man.
in Afghanistan right now, man. He just got deployed. He got deployed like a month ago. He's in Afghanistan. Anyway, so yeah. But with all this going down, I'm like, you need to get out and just come home, because the idea is our family's been serving in the military for like generations. Because we were like some escaped slaves. They escaped to North Virginia, and it was like we ain't never going back to that. So we've been like military service people forever. That every generation somebody has to serve to learn like combat skills. So my kids, two of them just jumped right in and was like, we gonna do it. Yeah. So.
Dude, that's a hell of a story, man. Did you ever figure out why you were on the no-fly list?
I actually tried to get off. What was it? It was about, I think it was like November, and I was up in Frankfurt, and I was like, I just while I was there, I was like, look, I need to get off the no-fly list. They were shocked. They were like, yo, you can't do that to an American citizen. Just tell them you can't be out the country. I was like, yeah, well, I've been out for 31 years. I said, my mom's getting old. They're like, what if I want to go back? Dude, they were so shocked that I was like on an no-fly list and I couldn't actually get back. Like, I couldn't actually get on a flight. Like, if this doesn't happen, they were like trying to sort it out. And I was like, just forget it. I was like, I'm good.
That's insane. So you haven't been back to the United States because no fly.
Yeah. Wow. It's about 6 years that I found out. 6 years now, about 5 or 6 years that I found that I was on the no-fly list.
And so I don't know why. And so America's there, and you can't fly to America or fly on any flight that goes over American airspace.
Yeah, I can't fly over American airspace. And even when I fly back, they said, like, I remember from a long time ago, there's like, okay, we can get you a temporary clearance, but you have to fly on a flight with a what do they call it, air marshal?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say like you got to sit with the air marshal.
So are you at this point? Are you like fluent in German and everything now?
Yeah, it's my second language. Yeah, my job is actually done in German. It's kind of stressful sometimes, man. I get headaches after about like 4 hours at the job. It's just stressful, man. Just thinking in German, because there's no translation in my head. So when I speak German, it's literally coming out of my head German. There's
but that's how you have. Yeah.
And it gives me headaches after about 4 hours of constantly doing that. When looking at emails, writing emails, it hurts after a while, man. It's very stressful.
Wow, man, that's cool as shit, man. And I was expecting you to have like a super thick accent and everything, man. I didn't know you were American. I had no idea.
No. Brits get upset with me. When I was in London, they was like, why do you still have such a strong American accent if you haven't been back to the U.S. in so long? I'm like, why you care, man? I'm American. You walking around here, oi, homie? Like, oi, what you want?
What a great story, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Man, I've had you on here for a long time. I don't know. We can call it quits. It's been like an hour, 30 minutes, So
136. I see it in the upper hand, man. It's been good, man. A good talk and all. This has been a real good time, man. I'm happy we got a chance to connect. Now I got to connect down in Germany, so I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I wanted to. When I saw your photos on Instagram, I was like, man, I got to go to Portugal and start like drones. You went to some like nice castles and like old fortresses.
Yeah, dude. Once again, man, it's really. I'm real fortunate that I picked in a person that I picked because I like all those places I've been to. I don't pick no motherfucking places, man. Like I just go. I want to go to a place. Please just find a place, and we've got the same kind of wavelength when it comes to like seeing history and art and architecture. And so she find I just tag along and I'm like, great, man, this is awesome. I like this place and this place. Take a bunch of pictures, everything. And then she's the great camera person. She's like, I don't care about being in the pictures, so she can. So I've got all these pictures from my social media because of her. So it all works out real well.
And you got like a whole bunch of stuff you do. You got stuff. We never covered that plugs or anything, but I don't mind. Ed has some like awesome material, like social media mastery and all this type of stuff, like Crackhead Hustle, I think it's called.
I got the Crackhead Hustle writing method, yeah.
Yeah, how do people get a hold of you and how do they find you?
Fortunately, I'm Ed Latimore on everything. Ed Latimore on Instagram, Ed Latimore on Twitter, Ed Latimore, my website, edlatimore.com. So yeah, just come through, man, and I try to put stuff right up there. Yeah, just pop it out and come through, man. I'm looking forward to more people seeing the work and enjoying it, and hopefully getting some good out of it.
All right, man. Hey, Ed, I thank you for being on. Hopefully we can do it again in the future, and
hopefully when the world's in a better place, man, that'll be real cool.
I definitely got to come down to Portugal. You plan on coming back out, or you staying in the U.S.?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So because I was there for just these things you learn, right? Because I was there for more than 90 days. I have to stay out for 90 days plus however long I was there. So I can't return. And then, but what we're doing now, gotta have a reason to get married, right? Probably just gonna marry her so I can get my reunifications. It could be and be a citizen via reunification.
Yeah,
So
okay. That's how I'm in Germany. Family reunification. They're very liberal
yeah,
with that.
so and then because she all I gotta do is go do that, and it'll be a lot faster and easier. And then I want to have to think about the whole 30 days or 90 days and 90 days out, or get a visa waiver, and I'll be free to go through the EU and everything, and not really have to worry. So,
come through, man.
Yeah, right now the plan is to be back there, assuming the world gets back to order, sometime before the end of the year.
Nice.
But if not, definitely at the beginning of 2021. Because one thing you learn, we're very fortunate, is that because of how I earn my money is online, it really doesn't matter at all when I go or where I go. That's why I get and I really like Portugal, man.
It looks like it. From your Instagram, it looks like it.
Thanks, man. It's a great place. I hope you get a chance. All right, man. I'll see you, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. See you.